In this video, I'd like to talk about the book Beyond the Best Interest of the Child by Phillip Goldstein. So I was in my Facebook checking out Lawless America, and Bill Lawless mentioned this book, Beyond the Best Interest of a Child, which is available from Amazon. So I looked into it through Amazon, through Google. Now, how this book was described online as misguided, and it stated it describes the theory that is used to steal children, by CPS and through the courts, and it's part of a trilogy. The first thing that I noticed was that the name of the author was Goldstein, and I'm concerned that perhaps there's a lot of well-intentioned people who are confusing this Joseph Goldstein with Barry Goldstein. Now, Barry Goldstein is a credible leader and national specialist in domestic violence, abuse, and child custody. He can be found at domesticviolenceabuseandchildcustody.com. Now, just a quick overview of Goldstein v. Goldstein. Phillip Goldstein, who wrote Beyond the Best Interest of the Child, is misguided while Barry Goldstein is credible. Phillip Goldstein was published in 1984 and it's long outdated. Barry Goldstein is based on research and published in 2010, so it's much more current. Phillip Goldstein's book is 244 pages for $15.95, while Barry Goldstein's research is 710 pages and between $90 and $136, depending on if you get paperback or hardback. And published in 1984, Phillip Goldstein doesn't have a single customer review at Amazon, while the national expert Lundy Bancroft describes Barry Goldstein's book, saying that it has rapidly become an industry standard. Barry Goldstein's book is associated with the Civic Research Institute, and more professional recommendations for this book can be found through the Civic Research Institute. Okay, the next thing that I noticed was the book Beyond the Best Interest seems to apply information used in adoption cases to custody cases that involved children with parents. And when children have parents, it is their most basic childhood need and human right to have a meaningful relationship with those parents, especially the parent with whom the primary bond was formed, which in most cases is the mother. One of the most controversial and offensive problems in America's family courts is children being denied access to safe parents, usually mothers, that have not done anything wrong. Another thing I noticed on the Phillip Goldstein book is the Yale name, and the descriptions of Beyond the Best Interest of the Child kind of make it seem like Richard Gardner's parental alienation syndrome theory that was repackaged with an adoption twist and a Yale sticker on it. And I find it difficult to believe that Yale would currently back anything that resembles a 25-year-old self-published, non-peer-reviewed theory that never had any professional credibility. I wonder if this is another scenario where the claim is different than the truth. And I wonder if the association with Yale is similar to Richard Gardner's association with Columbia University. If you recall, Richard Gardner had falsely claimed that and was widely believed for many years to have been a research professor at Columbia University, but after he committed suicide by plunging a butcher knife into his own heart, it was revealed that he had falsely made the claim of being a research professor, and that the truth was that he had held an unpaid volunteer position. The next thought that comes to mind when pondering the Phillip Goldstein book, Beyond the Best Interest of the Child, is the world-class philosopher and professor emeritus at Princeton University, Harry G. Frankfurt, who wrote the aptly titled book, On Bullshit. Perhaps Phillip Goldstein's book, Beyond the Best Interest of the Child, should be sold together with Harry G. Frankfurt's On Bullshit. Setting a limit. There has to be a way to set a limit to how much harm can be done to a child's primary bond, education, and future in custody court. Toward that end, there's going to have to be discussion of what happens when abusers use theories like the one in Phillip Goldstein's book, Beyond the Best Interest of the Child, to create a turnkey system of false testimony against safe mothers. There is going to have to be open discussions about the ethics of allowing abusive fathers to use child protection laws as weapons against safe mothers. Willing to go to the belly of the beast. I'm a mom, and custody of my young child was reversed under false pretenses and has not yet been corrected. I've not done anything wrong, I don't have anything to hide, and I'm willing to go into the belly of this beast, so to speak, because I'm already there. Assuming that this book in this trilogy is factually linked to Yale and is currently associated with Yale University, I invite the author-publisher to an exchange of information. You send me a copy of the trilogy, and I can tell you how your theory is being misused by abusers to hurt children in custody court. On the other side of the exchange for information, I'll give you access to my own documents on this subject via Google Documents and YouTube videos.